What is up, guys? CryptJ1958 here, coming at you with another deck profile. It's been a little bit since I've been able to post. I've kind of been having some issues with the whole virus and everything. Work's been hard to find, so haven't really had the money to get the cards until recently, and then still having a hard time getting a job. So it's going to be pretty far and in between from what I can do here over the next little bit. I wanted to bring you this deck. This is a 2-card combo. You can set up 3 to 4 interruptions along with the Buster Lock with like any 2 of like 6 cards. So it's really good. I've done pretty well with it. Just having a few smaller locals around here, but the people that are going to those locals are the people around here where I live in Utah that really go out of their way to go to like the bigger tournaments, like the YCSs and UDSs and stuff, and they usually do really well. So if I can stand up to them with this deck, it's pretty good. So let's jump into it real quick. So this is going to be my Dino deck. So we're going to start out 2 UCT, pretty self-explanatory, big boss monster, Book of Moon's the field, and then sends defense position monsters that it attacks to the graveyard to inflict 1,000, can attack everything. Really good monster. Level 10, that doesn't come up in this specific deck, but there are some decks that use the level 10s to go into like the rank 10s to do that last little bit of burn damage or to do burn in time. We're going to be running 2 of the new Dino Boy. Beautiful card and broken as hell in this deck. This is kind of one of the cards that makes the 2-card combo possible because it's a level 1. Basically what it does is if it's normal or special summoned, you pop a dinosaur in your hand and you can add a double evolution pill from your deck to your hand. And that's a hard one's return, which is fine. It does have another effect that lets you search like sea serpents and stuff like that, but we're not going to be using that in this deck. But really, really broken card. The 3 Miscellaneousaurus, we're going to use that. It's protection effect, and then banish it with any other number of dinosaurs to summon a dino from the deck with the same level as the number of dinos you banished. So really good. You can get out all sorts of stuff from the deck. Deck wouldn't be complete without 3 Oviraptor, your main Stratos of the deck, and then it can also pop a level 4 or lower dinosaur on the field to special summon a dino from the grave. So it's really good. You can use both of those effects once per turn. And then, of course, the babies, 3 Ceratosaurus, 1 Pteraton, really good. Pop by card effects, special summon a level 4 or lower dino from the deck. Pop by card effects, special a level 4 or higher dino from the deck, but it can't attack this turn. Which, we're usually going for level 4s or lowers with these guys. So, I mean, this is if we're going for Oviraptor, but Baby Ceratosaurus is like the more useful one, which is why we run that one at 3. And then we have some 1-ofs, Pinkertops, I mean, really good destruction, big beat stick, pops cards. Dogoran can get out with double evolution pill, and then also gets rid of problem monsters. Overtex, Quatless, another way to get double evolution pill, and then protection from spells. We got Dracaeolo, level 1 tuner, and Giant Rex. Really easy to get out, just send it to the graveyard and banish it. And that rounds up our dinos. And then we're running the True King. So we got 3 fire and 1 Lysogym. I can never remember how his name goes. And then we're going to be running 1 of the field spell as well. This guy is really good if you have 2 babies in hand, because you can pop 2 cards in your hand to special summon him, as long as one of those cards is Earth. But if both of them are Earth, then you can look through your opponent's extra deck and banish 3 cards with different names from their extra deck. So if you get this out first turn and you know you're going against, say, a Numeron player, you get rid of their S0. Or you're going against really any Needle Fiber deck, get rid of Needle Fiber, Auroradon, Link Cross. Their combos are pretty much dead. So it's really good. And then you get the Search from the Babies as well. And then we just got some other one-ofs. Running the Fire Gizmek. Brings himself out if there's a monster in the extra monster zone. And then he can equip that card to himself. But most importantly, he's a level 9. So if you can get out, say, one of these and him, then you get into the True King of All Calamities, which is just another disruption. And then we got our tuner packages, Jet Synchron, really good, O-Lion, and then we're running the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword for the Buster Lock. If he is equipped to a card, then your opponent cannot special summon from the extra deck, and that includes like Pendulum Summoning from the extra deck. It's no summoning, so it's really good. You can lock your opponent out, and that will come up in our ending board. I'll show you a little bit of gameplay. Running 2 Evolution Pills, now that they're really searchable. Really good card. And this card is kind of what makes it so you can play around Nibiru. If your opponent Nibiru's you too early, they're not going to get a really strong token, and you're still going to have stuff on the field, so you can keep going with your plays. And if they do it later, then you have this in your hand as a backup, because that's like the first thing we do is get that to our hand. So you're still going to be able to get something on the field. Lost World, really good in this deck. Give your opponent a token. They can't target any monster on the field except for the tokens while they have the token, so they pretty much have to link it away. And then if a normal monster would be destroyed, you can destroy a Dino from the deck instead. So all else fails, you go second, you don't have a great hand. You put this on the field, summon a Dino, give your opponent a token, and you can actually chain block. So like if you only have Oviraptor in your hand and Lost World, you activate Lost World. If they let that go through for whatever reason, that's fine. You normal summon Oviraptor, activate Oviraptor as chain 1, and Lost World is chain 2. So they have to the only cards that really can interact with Oviraptor at that point are ones that you target a specific monster. So like Impermanence, Effect Veiler, stuff like that. But things like Ash Blossom, things that are win effects can only react to Lost World because it's chain link 2. So you can chain block to keep your stuff good. I apologize for the train. I live like right next to train tracks, and it's loud. One diagram, really good. You can it helps you search your True King side. So if you have this, a bunch of babies, and another card that you don't need, maybe I don't know, maybe a baby and a Giant Rex, 2 babies and a Giant Rex. Use this, pop a baby, get your search from the baby, and then get your Lithogasm or Lysogem. Use the Lysogem to do the baby and the Giant Rex, so you can make sure that you get the search from the baby and get your pop from, or get your banish from your opponent's extra deck. So really good. We want our combos to go through, so Called by the Grave. It's going to stop a lot of the stuff that will, try to interact with us while we're doing our combo. And then our searchers, 3 Fossil Dig, kind of a broken card. Add 1 level 4 or lower dinosaur monster from your deck to your hand. And then the 1 Terraforming, because we want to see our field spells if we can. And that's our main deck. And show you the extra deck. I mean, we just have a bunch of tokens because we're going to be using them. And so we're going to start out with Halkif. I don't care what the name is now. Obviously, every deck is playing that right now. Pretty easy card to get, not that expensive either. It's like 15, 20 bucks depending on where you go. And then everybody knows what it does. It's broken. We're going to go Link Cross, again, broken, and these two together basically equal lots of negates. Union Carrier, so we have our Buster Lock. And then this one is a little bit of a interesting choice, but it has come up quite a few times. We got the Bujingi Ahashima, and basically what this is, two monsters at the same level. So it's kind of like an Xyz. What it does is you summon it, and then right after it gets summoned, you special a monster from your graveyard and one from your hand that has the same level, and then you immediately Xyz with them. So the most recent time I had to use this was at a free box tournament, and I was playing against a Crusadia player, and I didn't want them to be able to build their board again because they were playing some cheeky tech that let them shuffle everything back in quite a few times. And I had one of my True Kings in the graveyard and one in my hand, and then I had Giant Rex and an Oviraptor. Went into this guy, summoned the True King from my hand and from the graveyard, overlaid into True King of All Calamity, and then just stopped them from being able to play the game at that point, and then was able to beat them the next turn. So that it does come up. It's not often that it comes up, but it does come up. Every time I'm thinking that I might switch it out for something else is usually when I end up using it and I see how useful it is. So that's why I play that. And then Link Karibo, we're using level 1 tokens, and we have our level 1 Crocodile Boy, so really good. And then this is another interesting tech that I started running. I really saw the use for it is Relinquished Anima. So again, level 1 monster, except tokens, which is easy to make with our Crocodile Boy. And the best thing you can do is Dogoran one of your opponent's monsters, put the Dogoran in front of the extra monster zone, use the Crocodile Boy to go into this, so it's pointing at the Dogoran, and then take the Dogoran. So you got rid of one of your things, and you have a 3K beater on the field. So it's kind of like giving your opponent a monster, but not really. And then we got the one Logia, the one Dolka, really good. Any Dino player knows what those do. They're basically a judgment and a warning. True King of All Calamities. And then Phantom Fortress. This one is interesting. You basically get to banish cards from different places. You pick one place, and then you can banish one card per detach, which comes in handy, but you have to know when to use it. So I don't make this very often. If I was going to cut anything, I would probably cut this before the Bujingi link. And then that's it for our Xyz. And then for the rest of our combos, we got Metal Marcher, Harlow the Arclight, Warlord Savage, and then Ravenous Croco Dragon, and Trish. Level 9s, really not that hard to get out. Each do good things. This lets you draw a bunch depending on how many non-tuners you used, and then you can discard 2 cards, pop a card, and then Trish just banishes cards from different places to screw your opponent over. And that's the extra deck. I'm going to show you kind of how the 2-card combo really works. So let me just kind of shuffle the deck a little bit real quick here. Because really you just need a baby and a Miscellaneousaurus, and you have full combo. So I'll kind of show you how it works. I'm working on getting a taller tripod so you guys can see the mat a little bit better, which is why I don't do test hands and stuff very often, because I know it's kind of a weird angle. And I do apologize. It's kind of a pain, but it happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give those 2 cards and then just 3 random cards. Actually, we need that in the deck. So we open a hand like that. So we got Lithogasm, the Earth True King, Lost World, Called by the Grave, Fossil Dig, and Miscellaneousaurus, which is really good. So what we would start with, move these down here. Let me see if I can. My editing software isn't working so well right now either, so I'm gonna have to do this in one thing here. So we're gonna start with Lost World, just to get that on the field. We're gonna use Fossil Dig, and we're gonna get Ceresaurus. So then we're gonna use Miscellaneousaurus' effect to send it to the grave to make our dinos unaffected. And that effect is what makes it so if we get Nibiru too early, we still have dinos on the field because Nibiru won't be able to tribute our dinos. And then we're going to use Miscellaneousaurus' effect to banish itself to special a level 1 dino, which is where we get our Archosaur. I usually put it over here just because I can. The Archosaur's effect is going to activate, popping the Ceresaurus in hand to add the double evolution pill. So we'll get the double evolution pill, and then on resolution, baby Ceresaurus will activate, special summoning Oviraptor. Oviraptor's effect will activate, and we're going to add a second baby Ceresaurus. Then we're going to normal summon our baby Ceresaurus, and we're going to link off our Archosaur for our Link Karibo. So our field's going to be Oviraptor, baby Ceresaurus, and Link Karibo. And you can use Lost World at any time. I would have used it when Archosaur came out. So Archosaur comes out, Archosaur would have been Chainlink 1, or Chainlink 1, Lost World Chainlink 2. Wouldn't have really mattered at that point because Archosaur's unaffected, so can't really mess with it that much, but that's when I would have done it. So, your field right now. From this point, we're going to activate Soul Eating Oviraptor's effect to pop the baby Ceresaurus to bring back the Archosaur. Baby Ceresaurus effect is going to activate, and that is going to give us Aolo. Now, we're going to link off Aolo and link Karibo for Halakif, I don't care what the name is. That's going to activate to let us bring out O-Lion. So then we're going to sync O-Lion and our Archosaur to get out our Metal Marcher. And then we're going to go chain 1 Metal Marcher, chain 2 O-Lion. So O-Lion is going to give us our token. And then Metal Marcher is going to bring back Aolo. Now from this point, this is where we have a few things we can do. So I'm going to use the token in Aolo to link for 4. And we're going to go into Herald of the Arclight. So, this is your field right now. So you already have 1 disruption, and now they can't even Nibiru you because you have the Arclight negate. We're going to link off Halka-Fibrax for Link Cross. Link Cross effect, we're going to get 2 tokens. So then your field is going to be looking like that. So 2 level 1 tokens, Metal Marcher, Oviraptor, and Herald of the Arclight. Now, Metal Marcher is a tuner, so we're going to do 3, 7, and 8. And we are going to go into Warlord Savage, and we're going to equip the Needle Fiber to it. Now at this point, we're going to use Link Karibo's effect in the graveyard to tribute the level 1 token to bring that back out. And now since we have 2 monsters with the same type, we're going to link into Union Carrier. Union Carrier lets you target a monster and equip another monster in the deck to it that has the same type. So we're going to target Warlord Savage, and we're going to equip the Destruction Sword. Now we've done all of this. So this is our board right now. We got 2 negates on Warlord Savage. We got the Buster Lock, and we got Herald of the Arclight. But we still have one more card. That one. So then, we play Double Evolution Pill. And we're going to go ahead and banish Metal Marcher and one of the babies because they've served their purpose. And then we're going to get our Ultimate Conductor out. Now, if you're playing in a more competitive state and you're going first, you're always going to want to bring these guys out all in defense, because when you do that, if your opponent has Lightning Storm, the only card that they'd be able to destroy is Union Carrier, because Lightning Storm only targets or only destroys attack position monsters. So basically, you get this set up, you put them all in defense mode. If they do get some monsters on the field, and then they realize that you have the Buster Lock on them, so they can't do anything, when they're going into end phase, you can activate Ultimate Conductor, popping Union Carrier, flipping everything face down, and then on your turn, you draw your random card. Awesome, woohoo, and then you just reposition everything, and then attack. This guy is actually at 4750 right now, so if you were going for game and they had 2 or 3 monsters on the field, then I would pop the monster in your hand if you could, instead of Union Carrier. But yeah, you're still basically going to get game from there. So yeah. You're locking your opponent out of everything, and you're basically winning turn 2. And that's all from just 2 cards. All you needed was Miscellaneousaurus and a baby. And you have a board that really only like 3 cards in this game can out at this point. You're looking at Sphere Mode and Dark Ruler No More are like the big ones. So yeah, it's a hard board to deal with, especially if they don't have like an Nibiru and they don't run something like Dark Ruler No More. I've actually beaten several Adamancipators and have had some really, really close games against Eldritch decks. The biggest issue I had against one deck is they were also running Anima, and I wasn't really paying attention, so I kept putting my stuff in the wrong spot. But yeah, I got really close against them. I think I really could beat them had I used things a little bit different. It's a fun deck. I'm going to keep playing it until all these tuners or other cards get banned. Let me show you my side deck real quick, because I run some interesting tech cards that a lot of people are kind of sleeping on right now. Let me just clean this up real quick. Now this is not a fully built side deck. There are a few things that I would like to switch out. and improve upon, and you'll kind of see that as we go. One of the biggest cards that people are kind of sleeping on right now is Ghost Ogre. And Ghost Ogre is really good because if you're going against somebody that is using the Auroradon play, they make Auroradon, they activate the effect of Auroradon to get the 3 tokens. You use Ghost Ogre, they get the tokens, but then Auroradon is destroyed. So then they really have to do as much as they can with the Death Spot 101 and then the 3 tokens. They can't get the O-Lion and extend their play like they would normally do. So I really like Ghost Ogre right now. I feel like it's a kind of a sleeper power card right now. I don't think I'll switch this out unless the meta shift's kind of big right now. Even against like Numeron, so they make their Numeron turn 1, or their S0 turn 1, and then on the next turn, when you can interact with it, you can Ghost Ogre it and get rid of it. And then 3 Sphere Mode. Really, like I said, to get rid of a board like I just showed you, Sphere Mode is a really good card. If you don't need your normal summon, like I could make a very similar board without the normal summon. It wouldn't be nearly as strong. Like I probably wouldn't have the Buster Lock because I wouldn't be able to extend quite that far. But I could do that, or I could do a Crocosaur, the level 9 to draw some cards, and then go into True King of All Calamities to kind of stall out until I can make a better board. And then I could get this back and link it off and stuff like that. So really like that. And now this engine is one that I would like to improve upon because we did just get the reprint, but I haven't got the reprint for the trap yet, but I got 3 scythes and 3 twin twisters because I have to pop my own scythe because I don't have Sanctum. So I've decided in these 6 cards, when I know I'm going first against a combo deck that I know can break my board and then combo off and make their own board. So I'll side these in. It's sad that I have to do it that way. Eventually, when I get the 3 Sanctums, then I'll cut this down to 1, maybe 2 scythes, just because I don't want to draw the only one in my deck. And then I will probably cut these last 3 cards for the Sanctums and find 2 other cards that I can throw in for the 2 scythes. But my last 3 cards are just Lost Wind, just because I needed something that would negate effects a couple times. I actually have not cited that in because it's not really very good against today's meta, but I figure for rogue matches it would be pretty good, and I could see a lot of potential there. There is one card that I have been kind of looking at throwing into the deck, and that is Set Rotation. I'm thinking if I were to cut anything from the main deck, it would either be 1 Lost World, maybe the Jet Synchron, because I don't use that very often. I put it into the deck, and really the only time I use it is if I draw it, and that's the only way I have of making something happen. So those are the 2 that I would probably cut for that. That is my deck. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys would change. And yeah, thank you guys so much for being around. Like, subscribe, check out the Discord, and you guys have a great day.